Okay, hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another review, and today we are taking a look at this. This is the Fearless Audio Shangri-La, and it is the most expensive earphone in Fearless Audio's new Colourful World series lineup of earphones, including the Barcelona, the cheapest, the Province, the second, the mid-priced one, and the Shangri-La, which is the premium, the big daddy in the line. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Please go ahead and subscribe. It really helps out. If you like the videos, and I have a real focus on trying to help people choose the right earphones. So if you're subscribed to the channel, you can always leave comments down below. Describe to me what you listen to, what you're thinking of buying, what your budget is, and I'll give you a recommendation based on what I would do with that sort of money. I think that's a really good way to get across to people some of the alternatives and things that, yeah, maybe you're thinking about this, but maybe you might want to think about this or this. I'm going to stop doing this thing. This is my big thing right now is to actually name the earphones. So the Chin Armor and the LZ-A4 Pro comparatively is the best way for me to help you choose the right earphones. I'm not a fan of people who just talk about the earphone. They don't make comparisons, they don't make recommendations on alternatives. There's no point in listening to somebody say that this is a good earphone because it has excellent mid bass. Guess what? This is the sort of $200 to $300 range. There's tons of earphones with good mids, there's tons of earphones with good highs, there's tons of earphones with good bass, soundstage, whatever. Put them against each other, tell which one's going to be better for which use case, etc, etc, etc. And I think that's going to help a lot more people make the buying choices and maybe bring to light things that they've not thought about. So subscribe for that. Also just subscribe if you like the content, and subscribe for the giveaways. I already gave away a Linso voucher for October. I need to send that to Hey Guys LOL Gaming was the winner. He got picked in the random subscriber draw, and I think he was on page 7 and then 8. So I picked the number of pages, and then the way I did the draw was just completely random. So this guy, Hey Guys LOL Gaming, and he's got a nice little picture of Sloth from the Goonies as his avatar. So I'm going to get that voucher out to him, and hopefully today, maybe tomorrow. Well, no, it'll already be with him by the time you watch this video. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe to that. The way the giveaway is working just now is that I'm giving away the AdSense revenue. You know, it's under $100 or whatever. I don't really care about that. That's not my job. I do enable ads so that I can give away stuff. And in December, I'm hoping to give away maybe a couple of things, but definitely one crazy item to a subscriber. So let's get into this review. The three earphones that you see here are all part of the Colourful World series. Barcelona is a one balanced armature, one dynamic driver. The Shangri-La is the flagship in the series. Definitely not the flagship for Fearless Audio, who have some very good earphones and very expensive earphones, but this the Shangri-La is the most expensive in the series. It's one dynamic driver, 4 balanced armatures, and then the Province is 2 balanced armatures and 1 dynamic driver, and it sits in the mid price. In terms of value, I'm going to talk about the accessories, the packaging and stuff like that. The accessories and the packaging are exactly the same right across the range, so don't expect a different box, different cables, different ear tips. It's all exactly the same. The only thing different on these are the driver configurations, maybe the size of the housing to accommodate for those driver configurations, and then the designs of the faceplates, tuning, that sort of thing. So all the other stuff that you get with it is exactly the same right across the line, which makes the Barcelona fantastic value for money. You get a carry case, you get a very good set of earphones, you get a stunning aesthetic on the earphones, and you get a fantastic cable. So let's take a look. There's the sleeve of all 3 of the earphones. It's the exact same sleeve right across the line. It goes this way up. This is not the earphones that are on the inside. Fearless are just doing a generic earphone on the outside instead of actually you know, showing the actual earphones that you're getting in the box. That's fine, it keeps costs down, it lets them standardise stuff right across. It's a very cool looking box though, and it is a very high quality box. So this is the box, very similar to the audio style. It's the soft touch high quality cardboard. Open it up and it's got a presentation style at the top of it. Earphones will be in here at the top, and the only thing that you get in the box other than the cable is this carry case. Carry case is very, very nice. Only issue is it is white, and you can see just from the box alone it's picking up some black. That will clean out a little bit isopropyl alcohol, but I wish they'd gone with a dark colour. A black colour with these earphones would have looked a lot better. White's kind of a strange choice, but a lot of earphones don't even include a case, or they include very generic cases. This is a generic case, this is a generic case. It's kind of par for the course. Keeps costs down, but gives you somewhere to keep your earphones when you're not using them. You get 4 sets of ear tips on it. You get the reds are included in the package, so you get 2 the same, and then an extra large and a small, you get a large, medium and small. 2 sets of the mediums, which is fine. They're decent quality ear tip. Not the best I've had, and I have been using these with the Final Audio E-Series tips, which I highly recommend you getting for these earphones. They just give it a really, really good, nice tight seal and fit. So I'll leave the link to those ear tips in the description below. The standout feature, or one of the standout features, is the cable. Absolutely fantastic cable. Really, really, really nice job on the cable, and that's what makes the Barcelona such an interesting proposition. Stunning design, good sound, excellent cable, carry case, like just over $100. Yeah, this is a cable you would pay sort of $30–40 for now. Years ago you would have paid up to $100 for something like this. This is really, really, really well made. Ties up nicely, it behaves itself. It flows nicely, it's low microphonics. It is a 3.5mm jack on this one, and I don't believe that this line comes with a 2.5mm or 4.4mm balance. For those of you that don't know, balance is sort of becoming the sort of standard in audiophile earphones, but you do need a specific source for it. So this Shanling M6 Pro, this is 2 balance connectors on it and a standard 3.5mm jack there. The balance allows you to power both earphones equally, provides more power, drives them to the fullest. Not necessary on a lot of earphones, but definitely necessary for some earphones like the Tin Hi-Fi P1 can perform better just because of they require extra power to sound better. Now, the cable itself, 3.5mm gold-plated jack. Metal jack point, absolutely fantastic. Love this jack point. It's got the Fearless Audio logo on it. It has the little strain relief there. Then it has a octo braid pattern, so very, very low in microphonics, flows very nicely, and just very, very durable. Very, very, very well made cable. Metal splitter point and a metal cable cinch. Then after the splitter it goes into 2 channels of quad braid design, so again cutting down those microphonics. If noise is created through friction here, it cannot bypass the next point where it intersects with the braiding pattern. That's the reason that I really, really like it over something that is corded or non-braided. Lower microphonics. With over the ear earphones, you're obviously cutting down on that anyway, but you know, it is something, especially in hollow acrylic shells, that you can pick up sound traveling up the cables themselves. Now they've gone for a 2-pin connector, which I'm coming around to because companies are finally listening and they are doing a recess. All 3 of these earphones have recesses. This is the Shangri-La. You can see the recess built into the housing here, where the 2-pin connector connects to the cable. That is opposed to something like the Audio Excalibur, which sits flush. Now if I go ahead and take a 2-pin connector, there's 2 issues that I always have with a 2-pin connector, and that is, number 1, it's always a little bit dicey if I don't take the angle correctly and I push at this, I can bend these 2 pins, and you can see it's a little bit stiff there. The other one, this one sits really, really flush. This is really, really nice, but and there we go. It's really, really hard to get that one out. If I take this, the THEAUDIO Legacy 2, and this will illustrate the problem that I have with these often, is that where there's a curve here, you actually put this in, and you can see I've pushed that all the way in, and the 2 pins are actually exposed to the elements, meaning that if you sweat a lot, you know, I used to live in hot countries, humid countries, Dubai, Southeast Asia, stuff like that, and I would sweat, and what I actually found was like my Minerva Customs, on the inside of it, I could see corrosion like flowing through the electronics, and eventually they cut out. That's a real issue that I've had in the past with 2-pin connectors. So by creating this little divot into the earphones here, the divot with the, when I connect that, it sits flush, and it, you know, it really, really cuts down on the amount of sweat or something that can get down and corrode your earphones. It's all good like if the corrosion happens on your cable, but if you get expensive earphones and then you get corrosion, it can hurt. It can definitely hurt having them fail that way. And to me, it's a design flaw. Now, let's get into the actual aesthetic, because that's going to be the biggest thing for these. All 3 of the series have 3 separate color options, so you can go to the links down below and you can check out the different color options for each one. They all look fantastic from the ones that I've seen. I think the only ones I don't like are the pink ones on the Provence, but on the Shangri-La, this is the black version, and I think it looks fantastic. It has a nice dark black with the gold flake in it, and then it has the Fearless Audio logo on that side, Fearless Audio stamped on that side, and then the Fearless Audio logo on the left, IEM. But that's not the thing that you came here for. The thing that you came here for is when we flip it over and we look at the decoration of the drivers. This is really Fearless going above and beyond. They do not need to do this. They do not need, they could have made this a dark shell, and then you wouldn't be able to see into it, so there's no reason to decorate the driver, but this just looks really, really cool. It makes me sort of like stop and look at them. I also really, really like a clear acrylic shell, and this is crystal clear. You can see the dynamic driver sitting in there behind this decoration, and then here you can see the 4 balanced armatures, and they've even put this green stuff around the sound tubing, or the you know, the tubes that go out to the nozzle, and it looks like a sort of greeny goo type thing, but it looks really, really, really cool. I think this is a stunning set of earphones. I've said this on the reviews of the other 2 in the line. That is up there with the Blonde Prometheus and the Canera Skull as some of the best looking earphones that I've seen all year. Actually, I like this, the Chin Armor as well. I like these designs, and yeah, this is a good looking earphone. But it's not just good looking, it is well made, it is lightweight, it is ergonomically friendly, it's small, it's got a mid-depth insertion, so no problem getting a good tight seal on it, especially if you're using those Final Audio E-Series tips. I found it super comfortable, very well ergonomically designed. There is no seams, there is no flaws on the housing that I can see, and it uses the metal tips, which just add a little bit more protection than, say, an acrylic tipped earphone would provide if you drop it. Acrylic can shatter, metal is going to be just fine if you drop it, most of the time. Now, let's talk about the sound on this one, and the sound is actually really competitive for the price point. Not an earphone that punches out with its price point, but is very competitive within its price point. How would I describe it? I would describe it with a bump on the low end. It has a low end bump, but it's not overly done. I think that's standard. I think they're using the same dynamic driver right across the line here. It has a slightly elevated bass, but it has good speed and clarity. I think there might be some overlap of the balanced armature into handling the upper frequencies of the bass, because there is quite a lot of detail and texture in that upper bass mid-range, especially when listening to some specific like double bass solos or jazz tracks and stuff like that. You can really pick up a nice texture and detail. I think it's a fast enough driver to cope with, and this one actually has very good punchy lows. I would say it's punchy and textured. It has ample quantity in terms of sub-bass response, but it is not a sub-bass heavy earphone. It is not a bass focused earphone. It's got that elevation in the sub-bass frequency, and it has good clarity. It doesn't get flabby, it doesn't get sloppy. It definitely doesn't bleed into the mid-range, which I really, really like. And when we're talking about the mid-range on this one, the mid-range is fantastic. Super detailed, super clear, a little bit on the dry side, which I don't think is a bad thing. And when I come to talk about the genres, it's going to be kind of focused on that mid-range. The presentation is just very clean, clear, and unadulterated, in the sense that there is no sort of hint of sort of warmth or lushness added to it. It's just all about clarity, presentation, in terms of that sort of clear, open sounding, very easy to separate instrumentation, very good imaging on it. Really, really like that. But where this really starts to shine and set itself into its own category, and it's in this respective price point, is the performance of the upper mid-range to the treble. It is definitely prominent. There's definitely something going on in the upper mid-range there. And during my testing with a lot of the Asian tracks, which I'll talk about, is very very tuned that way, that if you appreciate a more prominent upper mid-range and treble, you're going to get along with this very, very well. I would say if you are not familiar with that sort of presentation in the upper frequencies, and a lot of people in the Western market are not familiar with that, it can sound a little jarring right at first, but I swear, give it like a week, start to learn to appreciate treble, start to learn to appreciate upper mid-range and stuff, because it really makes your music stand out with a sort of high energy presentation, and definitely can open up the sound space as well with or the sound stage with the correctly done treble creates this illusion of openness and airiness that I really, really like, and this does that very, very well. For me, as somebody who appreciates treble but would not consider himself a treble head, because I like an earphone with a good low end as well, this is pretty much right on spot with me. Like, it is very prominent, but for me it doesn't fall into sibilance at all. It's there, and it adds a clarity, and it is very, very well tuned. In terms of the genres that this is going to work well with, I think it works quite well with EDM, especially EDM that has bass drops and peaking highs. So I've talked about this a few times, that you get those tracks that you're probably very familiar with that have a very, probably the best example for it is, of course, Darude Sandstorm. That where it goes, and then the bass drop starts hitting, so you get the peaking treble, where the energy starts to really build up, and then it hits with a bass drop. It's not got that ethereal rumble. You're not going to get that with these. It's not a bass head earphone. Especially on laid back EDM and stuff like that. I was really, really enjoying this, like laid back, chilled out music. It sounded absolutely fantastic. The other ones that it did well with were rock, Asian genres, J-rock, J-pop, metal, anything that can be slightly congested sometimes in the mid-range. This has enough separation, clarity, and detail to completely stand out on its own and separate those congested tracks for you. This sounds absolutely wonderful with that. The only genres I think it didn't do too well with was probably anything with a sense of intimacy that requires sort of lushness. So maybe, things like Johnny Cash's Hurt, those sort of things, like acoustic, intimate male vocal tracks maybe lack that weight. But on the converse side, the upper mid-range and treble, the way it presents female vocals is absolutely fantastic. And let's talk a little bit again, I've been talking about this recently, that the differences between Western and Eastern earphones is, as people in the West, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was all about the bass. It was all about bass, impact, slam. That's why Beats got so popular, was because of the bass. You really, really wanted that. Oh, how good does the bass sound in this earphone? Whereas in the East, and when I used to live in Japan, it was a focus on treble. I remember going to these earphone shops, these IEM shops, these headphone shops. I remember picking up Asian tuned headphones and being like, where is the bass? There is no bass. There is, lots of focus on the upper range, and that was very hard for me to get around when I was listening with my library. I used to listen to my own music, lots of rap, lots of hip hop and stuff like that at that time. And then as I made friends in Japan and stuff, I started listening to more Japanese music as I listened to the radio and watched TV and stuff like that. I get more accustomed to that treble focused music, and there wasn't a lot of bass in it anyway. So if you go back to Chi-Fi maybe like 10, 15 years ago, and I hope that you're enjoying story time. If you're not interested in this story, just switch off now. These are really, really good earphones. You know what it sounds like, you know what the accessories are like, and they're very, very good. I'll get into comparisons in a second. The treble focus, like you used to get earphones from Brainwaves, from Hi-Fan Man RE0, the little company out of Singapore that used to do the Bear style earphones. The focus was always on the treble, but they never implemented bass. Now they're starting to implement bass, but they're still catering to the Eastern market. And that's because they've had more prominence of bass come to their own genres themselves. But I was listening to Deer and Grey, my favourite Japanese sort of rock, metal, band, like especially their stuff from like 2005 onwards. What was it, The Withering? I was listening to The Withering, and this it was very congested tracks and very, very screamy vocals on it, and this just sounded absolutely fantastic with it. Additionally, like with any sort of Japanese, Korean female vocal music, which Asian markets tend to have a fetishist sort of feeling of female vocals, like where they have a real emphasis on the audio products of that. These sound fantastic, but they are very good overall, very clean, clear, detailed, I'm not going to say they're worth more than their price point, like something like a Tin Hi-Fi P1 like this. That punches above its price point. It's mid $100, and for me it punches 2 to 3 times that. At this price point that the Shangri-La come in at, and again, links in the description below for full pricing, because we're coming up to Singles Day, there might be some deals on, you want to check out the prices. I'm choosing these two as the direct competitors. This is the Ovidius Chin Armor RX100, and this is the LZ-A4 Pro. I think these are both good examples of something. This is smooth, clear, detailed, but perhaps doesn't have that shining treble. This is a 1 dynamic driver. It is a 2 balanced armature. It is a very beautiful design with the chin armor on the outside. It's metal, but it's shallow depth, has very good soundstage, and it's just a slightly warmer version of this tuning with slightly less treble and stuff. It is a very pleasant earphone to listen to and very good for the money. The one that I've recently tested is the LZ-A4 Pro, and I think this is a very, very good earphone for the money in terms of accessories, cable, stuff like that. Absolutely amazing. Build quality is on point with the LZ-A4 Pro. But the thing that I really like about this is the versatility. It comes with this, which is a set of adaptable nozzles and filters, so you can change out in these combinations and you get multiple, maybe like 20 different combinations of tuning, and it really, really works. For me, LZ with the LZ-A7 Pro showed that they are making these sort of filters actually work. I know companies in the past, like let's say RHA, RIP to that company, died a death. They had these nozzles and stuff as well, and it was just a little bit too violent, not refined. This, the LZA4, is maybe just a little bit more expensive, maybe 10% more expensive than the Shangri-La. The bass tuning of it is a lot more lush, a lot more full, and got greater emphasis on sub-bass response as well, with less spark on the treble. But you can really tune and adapt these to the way that you want to listen to. I'm not saying that any one of these are better. Any one of these can be a good choice for you. They're all worth about the money. These look absolutely stunning. They have a good cable, blah, 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 blah. This is well made. It has a very smooth presentation. This has the versatility of being able to tune it. So there's lots and lots of options out there, but definitely this is a very good earphone. And I have talked for almost half an hour, so I'm going to get out of your head. Please stay tuned. In the next couple of days, I'm going to be doing the 11/11 or the Singles Day sales. Singles Day, for those of you that don't know, is like Asian Black Friday. It's where you're going to get a lot of deals and stuff like that. So I'm going to post a video and maybe an article on the website where it's going to link to all the deals that I can find. I've already got companies that are giving me embargoed lists saying, like, this is our deals that we're going to have for 11/11. Please, if you're a company watching this, I'm not asking for anything. I just would appreciate if you would send me in advance your list of deals. I will not release it until the video is due to go live. We can discuss that. But that way I can compile a list of the best deals for my viewers, because I think that that's a really good way. Any of these earphones at their price, any of these ones that you see on the table, and again, links in the description below, any of these earphones that you see on this table are good value for money, or about the value for money. If you can get some sort of deal on Singles Day, which is 11th of November, 11/11, then you're getting fantastic value for money. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll see that video posted within the next few days, depending on how many vendors I can get to send me their lists of the deals that they intend to have on the day, and I'll link to all of them in a massive list down below. So anyway, sorry, this is probably the longest video on the channel. So sorry. I will catch you on the next one. Fearless Audio, Shangri-La, that completes the World Series. Coming up, we have the Shanling M6 Pro review and the Fire FD7 in the next couple of days. Base, I'm out.